Greetings, this is Sloshworks and welcome back to Shadowrun Hong Kong. We've just finished off down here in the walled city and we're just about to return to Hioi. Hey, there's some people just popped up near us. What's going on with that? Wu holds up his hand for everyone to stop, turns to the two of you and hooks his thumbs in his belt. Well, that was the thing. Never thought I'd be shuttling messages between criminals in a Hong Kong syndicate. I can't imagine what Raymond would have wanted in the walled city. This place just feels wrong. It must have been important. He flew all the way here, hired runners for an escort. But why? This place makes you feel like your life has no value, like there's no point to anything. He sighs and looks at your companion. Great life you have here. Gobbet ignores the barb. She breathes a sigh of relief. Look, we're done, aren't we? We got into and back out of the walled city, and we're still in one piece. Whining ex-cops aside, I'd call that a win. The cords stand out on the side of his neck, but he keeps his voice calm. I'm not whining, rat girl. Duncan Wu does not whine. Yeah, whatever you say, Guncho. Guncho, seriously? Wu's goggles pan down, come to rest on Gobbet. That's not going to stick, is it? Let's go. I think I like calling him Guncho, that's pretty funny. I do like it, I do. It's hard to shake off the walled city. Its gravity clings to you as if wretchedness itself had grown tentacles. The sounds of suffering subside, but the echoes still thrum your insides. Gobbet walks slowly, head down and both hands on her stomach, whispering a conversation to someone or something that only she can see. Her rats are silent and remain hidden in her clothing. Wu pauses a moment and breathes a sigh of relief when you finally reach the streets. But returning to Hioi isn't like coming home. Suspicious looks and closed mouths accent unsmiling faces that billboard a universal message. That's a hell of a sentence you've got there. You don't belong here. Time to report back to Kindly Cheng and inform her that the message has been delivered. Get this business over with, get your sin burned, get on to the next step, whatever that is. You leave the City of Darkness behind, head to the Mahjong Parlour and a date with the Crime Lord. Hell yeah, date with the Crime Lord. I like it. I like it very much. I do like Kindly Cheng. She's a pretty cool character, actually. So we gained 6 karma, so we probably got a little bit. Let's inspect this and see if there's anything here. A large X formed by peeling duct tape. Okie dokie. Now, are there any shops? That's the MTR station. We don't need to go down there. Don't need to talk to them just yet. I would like a shop, but I already can't remember where the Mahjong Parlour is. I think it's over here. Let's go talk to this guy. Maximum Law. What a name. That's all. It's there. I forgot that I could actually look at that and see. What does Maximum Law do? It says tech there. Bins of electronics crowd every dry patch of deck space on this rusty old boat. A young man wearing bulky virtual reality goggles glances your way for a moment, then turns away in disdain. Who are you? Doesn't even look at you. Shop's closed. Get lost. I want to look at your tech. Oh man, you're pissing me off, Maximum Law. Can I kill you? Apparently I can't. So that's the bolt hole. I remember this is where the Mahjong Parlour is, but I don't think there were any shops around here that we could have visited, because I did realise we don't have any ESPs. But I also am wondering if they're the kind of thing that I have to buy every single time, because I've never played a Decker before. So let's go talk to Kindly Cheng. Kindly Cheng watches you closely as you walk across the Mahjong Parlour. As you approach, her lieutenant leans in, brings her mouth close to the Triad Boss's ear. Cheng smiles and nods, her eyes never leaving you. Her rusty voice rolls from somewhere deep. I've heard from Bao. He got my message very clearly. But he also said there was bloodshed, and I specifically told you to let them live. Her button eyes are like tiny lumps of coal. I'm disappointed. Couldn't be helped, we were defending ourselves. You screwed up plain and simple. Kindly begin stacking Mahjong tiles. Nonetheless, I expected you to be a bit sloppy. It's partly why I sent you. What? Part of the message was on that stick, and part was the messenger. She eyes you closely. Bao didn't rate sending real Shadowrunners to deal with him. Your sloppy handing of the job helped to prove my point. Good to be of service. Kindly Cheng stares at you for a moment, reviewing your tone. My message was delivered, and Strangler Bao is back in the fold, earning for me. As far as I'm concerned, our transaction is complete. While you were gone, I set the wheels in motion to wipe your identities. She pulls out her PDA, stabs a button with a lacquered fingernail. The order has been sent. Congratulations, you are now sinless, shadow people. Wu exhales heavily. His eyes remain focused straight ahead, but his shoulders sag. I didn't like the way my life was going anyway. Wu pulls himself up to his full height. Yeah, well, I had something going in Seattle, Rupert. I had my license, I was going freelance, found a storefront in Bellevue where Carter and I were going to set up shop. Now it's all blown to hell. He clenches a fist. Someone's going to pay for that. Pay for Carter. Whoever gave the kill order on Carter also forced us to give up our identities, and took Raymond. He sets his jaw firm. That's all I can think about, finding out who did this, finding Ray. While I was working to get your sins burned, I also had my network look into Raymond Black's disappearance. I've been thinking about what you told me earlier, and I agree. She eyes the room carefully and leans in. I can't just let this lie. Someone killed my runners. It would be a sign of weakness to the Yellow Lotus and the others if I do nothing. She rests her PDA on the mahjong table facing you. The Triad Boss's tongue slips from her mouth as she looks over the top, hunting for the right button on its upside-down interface. She finds it and looks at you again. I have news to share with you, my darlings. The kind you won't like. Raymond Black is dead. She taps the button and a recorded newscast appears on the screen. Raymond's photograph appears on the screen behind a reporter standing on the docks in Victoria Harbour. It's a picture you've seen before. A professional portrait taken for a press release about a youth centre he was opening in the Redmond Barrens. Under Raymond's photo are the words, Seattle man, killed. Another shooting involving the police department. A Seattle community organiser and industrial engineer was apparently shot and killed while resisting arrest at Victoria Harbour last night. HKPF police informed that the UCS man, Raymond Black, was behaving erratically and would not respond to police orders to surrender. No additional information regarding Black or why he was travelling to Hong Kong are available. Police have stated that due to this shooting's proximity to the last night's shootout with the White Star, the investigation must remain confidential and no other details are being released at this time. Kindly Cheng taps the button again and the video closes. Boy puts his hand to his face. This just keeps getting worse. You were right, Auntie. That was news I did not like. Raymond's dead. Boy puts his hand over his mouth, trying to process the information. He sways and for a moment it looks as if he's going to pass out. Isabel reaches out to touch Wu, thinks better of it, and pulls back her hand. Sorry for your loss. I never had a father, so I don't know what it's like to lose one, but sorry. Raymond dies the same night. I feel this is the way to go. My guy would be like, Raymond dies the same night we were ambushed? That's no coincidence. No fucking way. Kindly taps the video closed. She hunts around the keypad and selects another button. I'm afraid that's not all, my darlings. This is security footage from Victoria Harbour last night. You'll find it contains a contradiction. The PDA shows silent, grainy video footage of Raymond sitting in a tea shop flanked by two guards. He's looking down at something in his hand, completely distracted. The footage continues and the camera displays several black-clad figures entering its field of view from different angles. Guns ready. A tall, sharply dressed man in a suit walks briskly towards Raymond, flanked by two more. Raymond stands to face him, and the camera gets a clear view of the suit's face. White plastic. His guards turn to draw weapons and muzzle flashes erupt from all sides. One of Raymond's guards goes down and his submachine gun fires wildly, hitting the camera. He puts his hands on the table and leans in. Those weren't cops. And Raymond wasn't resisting arrest. What's with that guy's face? Gobbett reaches up to stroke the rat perched on her shoulder. Is that a mask? It doesn't look like a mask. It looks like some sort of semi-rigid plastic implant. Real craftsmanship. Quite the fashion accessory. It's also the kind of fashion accessory that stands out in a crowd. This guy's either a fool or an arrogant son of a bitch. Either way, I'm gonna find him. Kindly Cheng watches Wu intently. I believe you. What now? I like this one. We find the plastic-faced man and drag him somewhere private. Make him dig his own hole. Then we fill it. Kindly Cheng's eyes sparkle. I like the way you think. That is exactly what I would do. But how? I'm afraid there are some facts you're going to have to face. You are alone in this country. No network, no money, no identity. I can protect you from the police, but how would you go about discovering what happened to Raymond without me? How would you survive? You've had a very long night, my sweets. Very long. And frankly, you all look like shit. Rest now. I promise you safety in my town for the night. We'll talk about the plastic-faced man tomorrow. She gestures to Gobbett and Isabel. Ladies, go find our new friends a place to bed down in that rat's nest, a squat boat you call home. We'll all talk about it after you've slept. Figure out our next steps together. Yes, Auntie. Can I ask you a question, Auntie? No questions, darling. Sleep. I'll figure out what to do with you in the morning. Let's go. Okay, so we can't talk to anybody, and it looks like we just got to walk out here. Objective added is to get some sleep. I think we can probably do that. I'm pretty sure we're going to end up going to the bolt hole. Hell yeah. I thought that's what was going to happen. Safe boat, bolt hole. So we'll go to the safe boat. I like how it's a safe boat, not a safe house. You two can bunk here for a while, says Gobbett. She nods with her nose towards a hatch. You've each got a head to take care of your necessities. Try to knock before you enter someone else's. Okay. Seriously. I know the drill. He turns to you. Stinks of fish just like that place we squatted out at Leary Avenue back when we were kids. The one with that Aztlan, it's like Aztecs, I think, family and their dogs. You hated that dog. kept digging out my food stash. No matter where I hid it, he'd find it and scarf down a week's worth of grub. He wipes his nose with a gloved hand. Still, it was sad what happened to him and the family. No one should go out that way. He stretches and his spine pops like a handful of firecrackers. I think I've been up for something like 36 hours straight. He drops his arms. This has been one shit stain of a day. Time to end it. The orc turns to you, raises an eyebrow. Anything you need before I leave you? Is there a place for my stuff? Yeah, check the locker over there. You can stash your stuff in it. No one will touch the things in there, and it's a lot bigger than it looks. Of course it is. That's very convenient for a role-playing game. How'd you get your hands on this place? How did people like us get our hands on anything? We found it. Okay, so you just got a boat. You found it empty? Someone abandoned a prime piece of real estate like this? She shrugs. Close enough. It was full of BTL junkies when we came across it. They were completely wigged out on some multiplayer cyber game. I'm not sure they ever chipped out of it. They were completely emaciated, stewing in piles of their own shit. Their eyes had sunk into their skulls. Pretty gruesome stuff. They racked up a killer score, though. True, they had the moves. Should have hung an IV while they were playing, though. Turns out nutrition is important. Wow. So, did they die? Nightjar ran them out. Not sure what happened to them after that. Anyway, it's ours now. Auntie Cheng says so. Or with the engine room, you mean? Right. Everything but that. Auntie rented it out from under us. That must have pissed you off. Whatever, we weren't using it. As long as our downstairs neighbour keeps to himself, he can have the lower level, especially if it keeps Auntie Cheng happy. So it's just you. Now that Nightjar and Gutshot are gone, it's just us. The squeal of metal grinding on metal rips through the boat. It sounds like it's coming from the level below. And the creepy Russian guy renting the engine room downstairs. There's a Russian dude down there. Nothing to worry about. He mostly keeps to himself. He'll stop soon. He's usually quiet by now. I think I'll have a look around. Get some sleep so you look like you could use it. Alright, so we're going to have a look around and see what we've got. So that's out on the waterfront. I wonder what I can find here. There's some stairs. There's a stash. Nothing in here. So that's our bunk. That'll end the day if we go there. Let's have a look at the stash. We don't really have anything to put in our stash at all, really, do we? We've got basically nothing. So we'll just leave that and we'll head out here. It'd be nice if we had some gear to put in there, but I mean, we can talk to Duncan, but he's probably pretty tired. Yeah, okay, we'll talk later. I guess these guys live upstairs? Since these are our two rooms? Yeah, I thought they might. Let's talk to Isabel. She's definitely the decker, isn't she? Look at all that stuff. Look at all that groovy stuff there. I want to steal some of it. And that's Gobbet. Can I talk to you, Gobbet? Not really in the mood to hang out right now, Seattle. Fine. None of you guys want to talk to me. Guess I'm just going to go downstairs and go to bed. There's not really any point in doing anything else, is there? Fine. We'll go to sleep. Thing looks awesome. I really dig these scenes, hey? What the hell's going on? The dream is suffocating. The shifting tunnel of glass and steel, the towering silhouette of dark majesty, the shadowy doorway, and the teeth. They snap at your heels as you claw your way back to consciousness. You open your eyes to Duncan looming over you. Rupert, come on, Rupert, wake up. We gotta go talk to Kindly. The others already left. What's your problem? He lets go of your shoulder and cocks a thumb at the hatch. We gotta go. I've been trying to wake you for a while now. You were thrashing around in your sleep. Glad you did, man. I was having one hell of a nightmare. Yeah, I didn't sleep well either. I had a bad dream last night too. What about? I never remember my dreams all that well. It was probably motion sickness, not used to sleeping on a boat. I woke up a little while ago and hit the head. Then I came and woke you up. You doing okay? I'll survive. But man, nothing's gone right since we set foot in this country. I'll tell you something though. This is after a full night's sleep. I don't believe Ray's dead. What makes you say that? Think about it. That statement from the cops on the newscast could be fake. Ours was. And that surveillance footage? We never saw Raymond get shot. The camera was hit by stray gunfire. His passion is intense, but contained. Focused. Raymond's alive, Rupert. I know it. You make a good case, Officer Wu? He smiles. His teeth are white and straight. Perfect. Should have been a detective instead of a headbuster, right? God, I feel like I'm 12 years old again, squatting on a stinking trawler. My partner's gone, Raymond's gone, hell, I'm gone. I don't even have a name anymore. Now I can't even go to sleep and hide from it all without having a nightmare. What else is going to be taken away from me? You still got that piercing you got in Tacoma? Had to drop that. Hygiene issues. I wonder where it was. What the hell do we fall into here, Rupert? I mean, what's coming next? I don't know. Whatever it is, we'll deal. That's right, that's right. It's like what Ray always said. Shut up, Duncan, and let Rupert do the talking. I don't remember Rapin saying that. He said it under his breath a lot. Don't mess with me, man. You know I've got anger management issues. We should be going. See that triad, ladies. We should probably get out of here and get over to the Mahjong parlor. I wonder how much Mahjong this lady actually plays. It's down there. I should know my way there by now. We've gone there enough times. Hey, there's a dude there. Just kind of hanging out. Kindly's place reeks of stale cigar smoke and fresh urine. Excellent. All eyes are focused on the groaning figure kneeling bloody and bound at the feet of Kindly Cheng. She beckons to him with her finger and he struggles towards her, the loud rustling of the plastic tarp crackling under his knees as he moves. His pants are wet with fear. And a acetylene torch lies on the table at Cheng's right hand. This is awesome. How did you sleep, my little ones? Like a baby, auntie, I'm still in the afterglow of our tour of the walled city. The Triad boss's eyes turn to half moons of amusement. Afterglow? Really? She nods her head back towards the pillar of meat standing behind her. And she'd be delighted to say hello to your old friend, Strangler Bow. He's here because of you. What's up, beef? Strangler Bow's eyes widen until they're more white than colour. There's raw hatred written there. Cheng's demeanour changes in a heartbeat. Her amused expression drops like acid rain. Oh, god damn it, I shouldn't have done that. Mr. Bow is an honoured member of the Yellow Lotus, whereas you are an outsider. Her head pushes forward on her neck, a disposable outsider. Well then, now that the niceties are over, let's get to the nasties. God damn it, I may have put my foot in it. She indicates the kneeling man with an incline of her nose. Shitbird here is a plainclothes cop. He snuck into the area last night while you were sleeping, hoping to find you and kill you before his competition got to you first. My men found him outside the trawler you were sleeping on. They saw to it that the rest of your night was undisturbed and that your location remained a mystery. She nods her head back towards the pillar of meat standing behind her. You can thank Mr. Bow for that. Nod and Strangler Bow. Bow inclines his head 1/4 of an inch. She addresses the bloody man on his knees. Now, shitbird, tell my friends here what you told me. I don't know anything, I swear. We just got the orders in last night. He pushes his head towards you and woo from the floor, struggling to keep his balance. Someone high up wants these two dead. The whole department is on it. I don't know anything else. Someone from high up. The old woman lifts her shoe, taps his chin with the toe of her shoe. How high? The cop looks up at her. Looks around the room filled with Triad soldiers. One of them opens his coat and shows the cop something inside. He closes it slowly and winks. The cop drops his head to his chest, all the way up. It's someone on the council. Someone on the executive council wants these two dead? Cheng spits on him with a sneer. Fuck your ancestors to the 18th generation. Give me the truth. The cop wears the spittle. He never even lifts his head. It's the truth, madam, I swear it. Whoever it was labelled them as terrorists. We're to terminate them with extreme prejudice. Kindly Cheng shuffles closer towards the kneeling cop, reaches down and strokes his head with her hand. Then she slowly digs her fingers into his scalp. Then she pulls back hard until his chin points high. The Triad boss leans in close and searches his eyes with her own. That's all he's got. She lets go of his head and smooths his buzzed-cut hair with her hand. For whatever reason, last night someone on the Executive Council of the Free Enterprise Zone ordered the Hong Kong police force to kill 2 nobodies from Seattle. I find that fascinating, don't you? Yes, but why the need to label us international terrorists? She strokes the policeman's cheek with the back of her hand. Her rusty voice becomes sweet as she explains the way of the world. Propriety, my darling. When the government has someone gunned down, they prefer to make it appear justified. People feel safer when their murders feel like part of civilization. My, but you have definitely fallen into the deep end of the pool. Seattle isn't like Hong Kong. There the megacorps control the government. Here the corps are the government. We are not in a good position right now. The Executive Council is chosen by the Corporate Board of Governors. They're basically the legislative and executive branches of the Hong Kong government in one tiny package. 8 people call all the shots. Neat and efficient. Kindly Cheng steps back from the cop and lights one of her thin black cigars. For the wage slaves and the civilian sheep, the corporations are a pantheon of gods who wield absolute power. But not for us. Who knows about my guest's visit to Hioi, shitbird? No one, madam. I hadn't called it in yet. I wanted the kill for myself. No one knows they're here. I swear it. She turns to her enforcer. Mr. Bow? Mr. Bauer fiddles with the PDA in his meaty hands. He's telling the truth. No outgoing calls on his PDA. Very good. Thank you, Bauer. She nods at the cop. Thank you for your honesty. One smooth motion, Strangler Bauer produces a silenced pistol, fires it once into the policeman's head and replaces it in his jacket. His face never changes expression. I was wondering what we were going to do with him. Cheng takes a drag on her cigar, indicates the body. He knew, my darling. He knew. It is clear our friend Raymond Black was up to something involving the walled city. Something having to do with prosperity. Maybe he was trying to save the walled city, something like that. I'm not sure. And this executive council member wanted Raymond dead for it. Now they want you dead for it too. Click. This plastic-faced man may show up on your door one day too. She knocks the pile over and it clatters to the table loud. I have a proposal for you, my sweets. A smile lights up her dead, black eyes. Work for me! With Nightjar and Gutshot dead, I find myself with 2 job openings. Fill them. I have need of deniable assets here, players unaffiliated with the triads who can take care of some of the more unsavoury business needs about town. You've proven yourselves resourceful, and you have no existing connections here. That could be a positive in this line of work. Shadowrunners. Wu grunts, his jaw tightens, but he stays quiet. In exchange, I will keep you safe from pests like this one. She nods at the body on the floor. You'll have safe harbour here in my town and a steady source of income. She picks up a handful of her tiles again. And while you dip your toe into the waters of corporate espionage, organised crime and clandestine mercenary actions, I will employ my network to find the plastic-faced man and gather information about Raymond Black. Where he's been, who he's talked to, who stood to gain from his death, and what this prosperity could be. What's in it for you? Besides the money and the benefits of helping others in my community, I need to learn who killed one of my clients and then ordered the cops to execute my team of Shadowrunners. Her voice drops and she becomes deadly serious. This is a brazen disregard of my power. Face dictates it must be confronted or I stand to lose everything. How would this arrangement work? I find the right jobs for people with your talents. You do what our clients cannot do for themselves. I take a finder's fee and a small percentage of your earnings. We make a lot of new yen very quickly. It's all very civilized. Work with me. Allow me to help you make money. Let my network work for you. Then help you find out what you've gotten yourselves into. Without my help, you won't last a day out there. You are completely out of your depth, I'm afraid. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I am. You need a partner. Kindly Cheng will be your partner. I gotta wrap my brain around this, Rupert. Things are moving fast. There's a lot to process. Think about it, Duncan. This gives us freedom to find out what happened to Ray. I know, I get it. I just gotta reconcile this whole... He grips the back of his neck, squeezes hard, rips his hand away. Ah, fuck it. I'm not a cop anymore. That guy's dead. He nods. The decision's made. I'm in. What about you? I'm in. I didn't have anything back home anyway. Yeah, you might want to ask yourself why someday. Hey, that's a bit harsh, man. Okay, I'm in, but this is a temporary situation for me. Raymond is alive, I'm sure of it. So I'll run the shadows as long as Auntie Cheng keeps up her end of the bargain and helps us figure out what really happened to him. Then I'm going to find my father. Then it's done. He is now open to you. First order of business, Sloshy already has chosen a street name, but Duncan Wu doesn't exist anymore. You'll need one too. Wu sighs. Yeah, okay, I'll think of something. Gobbet rubs her cheek against her rats, a glint in her eye. I think we've already got you covered, Gunshow. She turns to Isabel. Fits, doesn't it? Indeed. I knew that was going to stick. It has stuck. Gobbet, Isabel will handle this the same way we did with all your previous work. All the jobs I line up for you will be sent to your computer on the squat boat. My computer? I'm not the leader. You are now, by process of elimination. Isabel isn't the leader type. You got that right. I guess she's a decker too, so I don't know why I would be. As for Gobbet, let's just say Gobbet doesn't have a head for business. Not my thing. She just doesn't want to take the responsibility. And then there's Gunshow. She presses her finger on Wu. She wiggles it. The jury's out on Mr. Gunshow. Meaning there's a lot going on in that head of yours right now, and I'm not sure I can trust you. Gunshow will be fine. Trust me. Kindly Cheng makes eye contact with you and holds it. She keeps it steady for a long time. Wu doesn't notice. Don't worry. I'll be cool, Rupert. Rupert O'Shaughnessy doesn't exist anymore. Call me Slosh. Hell yeah. Wu shakes his head, eyebrows raised. Gonna be weird calling you Slosh again. Haven't called you that since we were kids. Welcome to the Shadows, Slosh. So this is our new crew. I'm kind of sad that we've got 2 deckers. I don't know why. As you lead your team through the shadows, your companions will continue to develop and learn new combat skills. Clicking the icon in the lower right hand, the screen will open the crew advancement menu. When this icon is highlighted, one or more of your companions is eligible for a new combat skill. So I guess that means they can pick it now. So Gobbet is a rat shaman. Now, we could get her... No, I'm not going to worry too much about her ranged combat skill. But we could get her spiritualist, which spirits never break away in the first 2 rounds after summoning them. I want that one. Definitely, I'm going to go with that. This is Duncan. And we can get Lethal Force, which gains an assault rifle ability that fires a single shot of incendiary ammo, does an additional 2 damage, and pierces up to 2 armor. We get Crowd Control. I'm going to go with Lethal Force for him. And Isabel the Decker. Now, I'm going to be the one going into the Matrix with my character, so we'll get her to get Sabotage. Her grenade launcher can now fire remote mines, which can be triggered to detonate at will. That is pretty awesome. Okay, we'll confirm those selections. Brilliant. That seems pretty good to me. I'm pretty happy about that. Now, we do need to find... What is our mission? Our mission right now is activate the mission computer. We have some karma we could spend, actually. We could spend some karma. I mean, we've got enough to just get the intelligence up to 6, and then we can start working our way down there. Okay, so we got some pretty cool stuff we could get here. But able to equip 2 drones. That's pretty cool. I didn't even know that happened. Let's just leave that for now. We'll head up to the ship and get to the point where we can... Hey, who's this? Jin. Oh, look, we've got all the shops now. As you approach the small landing, you see 3 men, 2 elders, and a younger man hunched over a go board. I've been playing the Hitman Go game on my phone. It's actually pretty good. The juxtaposition of the 2 white-haired, white-bearded men and the black-haired man is almost comical. Together, the 3 resemble small black and white stones of their game. Despite the variety of ambient distractions, the 3 men remain acutely focused on the game. One of the elders, a round-faced man with a beatific smile, carefully picks up a black stone and places it on the board. His opponent snorts, and a small smile flashes across his face. Almost carelessly, he snatches a white stone and deposits it on the board. The smiling man groans, and the long-faced one proceeds to collect several black pieces on the board. Ah, you got me there, Jin. He laughs, a pleasant, full sound. As it trails off, he spots you watching the game. Well, hello there, young man. Something you need. Name's Slosh. Got a second for a question? I could use a short break. How about you, Jin? Jin sighs, shoulders slumping forward. After a moment of scowling, he reluctantly speaks. Fine, a short break. They turn to the younger man. He looks to be in his early 30s, but it is difficult to tell. The skin on his face is smooth and supple, with only the suggestions of creases at the eye, mouth, and forehead. Small gestures, a blink, a flare of his nostrils briefly reveal the lines of his face. The man's eyes rise from the go board and study the elders. He nods. Been having strange dreams recently. I hear that happens around here. Why would I be saying this to this guy? What a coincidence. Wasn't but an hour ago that we were all discussing that very thing. We've all been having very bad dreams, every one of us. What did you dream about? Can't say I'm comfortable giving a stranger details about my dream. Don't mind him, he's always been a poor sport, says Hugh. He raises a good point. Some of our dreams contain information best left private, just as yours do, I'm sure. Having just met, how can we be sure that you'll respect our personal information? I'll tell you. The younger man's voice cuts through the din like a razor, and the elders fall silent. He turns to you and he locks his eyes, dark orbs that burn with piercing scrutiny onto yours. He nods and returns his gaze to the go board. I believe you're trustworthy. Please, Slosh, make yourself comfortable. I'll share my dream with you. I am listening. I dreamed of a long dingy hall. When faced with such a thing, one generally walks its length. So I lifted my right foot and placed it in front of me. Upon taking that first step, I found myself instead drawn down an alleyway to the left. It wasn't there before, this alley. It appeared only as I began to walk. As I moved down the alley, I found myself surrounded by friends and loved ones. They all stood there, silently watching me, with smiles on their faces, and as I passed each one of them, they fell to the ground in my wake, dropping like puppets with severed strings. Somehow, I knew that if I followed this road to the end, I could have everything I'd ever dreamed of, but I woke before I could reach it. I too saw the long hall. My own experience was different, however, says Hugh. The hall was far off in the distance, and I was looking down from it from a strange angle, as though I were perched on a wall high above. You know, young man, Slosh, you look very much like the person I saw walking in that hall. He moved steadily down the path, walking at an even pace, and just behind him a great and terrible shadow followed. Of course, I didn't have the best view up there on that wall, or wherever I was. I could have been anyone. It could have been anyone. Perhaps this old man of mine is seeing your face now and misremembering the dream. This is getting all kind of trippy. Jin broods in the corners, arms crossed and jaw set. I've changed my mind. I don't want to share my dream. Nonsense. Master Lau and I have both told him our dreams. Now it's your turn. No. I don't want to force you to do anything. See? Straight from the horse's mouth. I don't have to. Jin. Lau's voice is firm but soft. So this guy's their master. This is important. Alright. Alright, but don't you go repeating any of this, you hear me. He takes in a deep breath. Slowly releases it. Folds his hand in his lap. My dream began as a nightmare. I dreamed of the failures and mistakes that I've made throughout my life, the people I've let down, the competitors I've crushed, the wife who died in the hospice without me. I dreamed of the family that I abandoned. Then, I dreamed of the walled city. I stood before it, and its door opened to me. And when I passed inside, all of my guilt fell away. It was as though the city had absolved me, had washed away my guilt, and I remember feeling happy. As his remembrance ends, so does his lightened mood. His face shrinks into a pout and he stares grumpily at the ground. There, I did it. Are you happy now? Thank you, Jin. You have my thanks too. Now can we change the subject? My ulcer's acting up. Thanks for your game. We'll be seeing you. I'm going to come back and speak to them later, but I think the most important thing we need to do right now is we need to get to this boat. Because it's yellow. And it's telling me to go there. So we're going to go to the boat. Here is our mission computer. Where does this hatch go? I guess this hatch goes down. But I kind of feel this is probably the best place to leave this, guys. So we've had a lot of talking in this one and not a lot of action. So I don't know. I'm really digging the story though, and I'm looking forward to getting this character to be running some drones around and having some, more abilities to use in battle and stuff. So that's going to be really, really cool. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Any hints or suggestions or questions or whatsoever, please do leave them down below in the comments. Like, subscribe, all that jazz. I'll see you guys next time.